Hey y'all, Chris from Keyfarm. So, I've been working on the Predator 212 truck and we've really made some progress. This is the transmission mount to hold the front of the transmission up. You know, in these little trucks, it's the engine that bolts to the transmission, and that's the only thing that holds the front of the transmission up. So step number one, transmission mount. Let me get out from under here and show you what's up. Alright y'all, first things first before we get to the transmission, this is a 1-inch shaft coupler. Ordered it off of eBay, I can't remember, it's about $15. And then on this end is the eye of the clutch. I'll show you a picture of them. Alright, this is the only part that I don't do in-house because I don't have a way to line it up that true and weld it. So I send the two parts and about $40 to a buddy of mine. He takes it to a machine shop and I get a part like this, and then let me show you what it allows me to do. Alright y'all, so whenever you're doing something like this, the biggest trick is how to connect all your new stuff to all the existing stuff, and that is why this is so important. So your splines go onto the splines, and then your 1-inch shaft coming off of here, the sky's the limit with what you want to do with that. Alright, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So I got a bunch of this angle iron like this, 3x4 by 1/4 inch thick angle iron. I bought a whole pallet of it one time just to do projects and whatnot. So what I did is I cut a piece from here to here, going from outside of frame to outside of frame. And then the back side, I cut it down to inside of frame to inside of frame. So then I set it in there, and it's got these ears that sit on top of the frame. And those ears may or may not be strong enough to hold the transmission up forever, but we'll get to that in a minute. One more thing, y'all. It's very, very difficult to see, but I wasn't sure if these ears sitting on top of the frame were going to be enough to hold that up. So I cut angle iron braces in the back that are bolted to this plate, and then they're also bolted to the frame. So that takes any side-to-side motion out, and it will also transfer the strength from the bottom turn of the angle to just these top ears, because they could over time, you know, bend up. I don't think there's enough weight there. That transmission, you can hold it up with one hand while you're working on it. But just to shore things up and make sure that nothing ever moved, I put some big braces on the back. Alright, I had to weld some ears on the back of there because the frame, you can tell right here, it kind of starts to go downhill. So I put an ear on the back of that one and an ear on the back of that side to make it set more level. Alright, so then I pushed it against there. Well, it was right in line with the shaft, and I had the transmission sitting on a jack holding it level because this shaft I want coming out of here pretty straight. It was kind of pointed uphill, and then the motor kind of pointed back. Well, I wanted it to set level because I didn't want this shaft to rise up too much. Alright, so that had to go right there, so I had to cut this notch. Well, cutting that notch made everything weaker, but that's alright. So I came up with some uprights right here, came across, and that allowed me to catch all these different holes in the bell housing. And this top plate right here is going to prove to be pretty important because I'm going to come across here, attached to the frame up on the front of the truck, and that will give me my platform for the engine. So check this out. So take me a minute to assemble, and I'm not putting the keys in it just for visual purposes. So that goes right there. And then, whoops, there's my shaft. I have this bearing on a piece of angle iron, and I'll show you how that's effective here in a minute. So that goes in there like that. And that goes in there like that. And the bearing I just dropped in there like that. So, let's see what we can see. Yeah, we can see everything right there. So this bearing right here is going to hang upside down. We're going to put spacers in here to adjust the height as needed. And the same thing for the bearing out here. It's got 1-inch spacers under it now to adjust the height as needed. And our pulley is going to go right there in the gap. And when we do final assembly, we'll have to put our V-belt in there ahead of time. But anyway, that already just sitting there is pretty straight and pretty true. So we're going to build off of here, come up to the front of the frame. Oh, by the way, the mount for this, it's just mounted to angle iron. These are the original motor mounts. So I just mounted the front bearing there. Everything should work pretty well. Alright, here's a couple of clips of it running off the drill. And that gave me an idea to run it off of a drill. Alright, check it out. Hey, electric truck. So, all right, y'all, there you have it. I'm trying to keep the videos short and entertaining and not a whole lot of downtime. But, you know, I got to show some stuff along the way that anybody that might want to duplicate this, they'd be able to duplicate it and not have quite so many questions. So, up next, I told you that I had an idea about running it off of a drill. So, I'm going to mount my cordless drill under there and probably put it on a push button or an on and off switch for the, quote, gas pedal. And I think it'd be cool to run this thing in and out of the shop a few times under electric drill power. So that'll be 212 Truck episode 2.5, electric vehicle. Do I get a tax discount for that? I'll look into that. Hey, I'm Chris from Keyfarm. Love God, love people, and watch some of these other videos. Thanks. Bye.